Hello everyone and welcome back to our series on UI UX design course. In this fifth video of our course, I am going to share with you the complete process teams take to design a final product. I will try to explain it in a very simple way. In upcoming videos, we will be doing all these steps practically, so don't worry. And please watch this full video since this will solve your questions about UI UX design process. Also, this is one of my favorite videos of this course. I really understand how it feels to see different UI UX design processes on different sites. But here is a reason, and I will explain that reason in the first half of video. Enough talk and let's get started now. A UI UX design process mainly depends upon three things. Number one, product. Like type of product you are building for, such as your product can be a mobile app or a website. Process for each product will be different. As with mobile app, we have to test notifications or how our app will work in offline. While with the website there is no offline mode, but there are other things such as we have to take care of response designs and cross-border compatibility. So our UI UX design process mainly depend upon the product that we are working on. Second, platform. Our UI UX design process also depends on the type of platform, such as UI UX design process will be different if you are working for a company or a freelance. Also, the size of company matters a lot. Huge companies follow every single details, while in smaller companies a lot of abstraction is performed. As for freelance is concerned, a lot of steps are skipped, but these things mainly depend on the client requirement. Different clients have different requirements and budget, and your UX design process will vary on that. Hence, our third thing is client, which we have already talked, and it is a client basically who decides our UI UX design process. He may have different needs, goals, so our process will depend on that thing. Client budget, client vision, and client timeline are also the different things that matters here. To summarize all above, I would say that different companies can follow different approaches to find a problem, define a solution and solve it. Also, their approach may be same, but they can name these processes a little bit differently. Please, as a beginner, don't be confused with this. Also, UX design process depend on where you are working, as a scenario might be different. It can be you are working directly for a client, or you are working in a company, and in a company you will have a team, and on a freelance you are your own boss and you are working alone. But all UI UX designer always keep in their mind the only thing, and that is user. It's just that their way of making them happy can be a little bit different. Hence, when you see different procedure on multiple sites or on ChatGPT, you should remember those above things. Now finally, let's move to general UX design processing stage. There are 6 stages of UX design processes. The first stage is understand and define. In this phase, you define your product, what it will be in its final form. It is basically to understand your user's problem and brand goal. How does the brand align with user's problem and solve them? How the product is defined. The main objective of this phase is to define the problem area and establish the direction for the design process. This phase gives the answer why this product is being built. Well, I already know the answer of it. Product is being built to solve the business and user needs. When we are at this stage, we are already aware of problem and a solution, but we may have ambiguity or a little bit confusion, because this may be the first idea and it cannot be 100% accurate, or it might have chances of failure. So we perform research in this define phase. This research is to validate our assumptions. I always study the niche in which this product is going to launch, an overview of audience, market, demand and competition. To know all of this, you perform online research and some internal meetings. Here, internal meetings are also called meeting with stakeholders or directly with clients. Stakeholders can be business managers, designers or anyone in the company that can be helpful to this product. At this stage, what I usually do is that I prepare some very rough sketches of the product that I am going to work on. You can also call these sketches low fidelity designs, and this contains an overview of the product. Later on, it's easy for me to explain it to anyone. When I have to explain this idea to anyone, it's always helpful to explain it visually, either of just talking. Usually at this stage, all the meetings or interviews are internally. You are not taking opinions of other people outside. You can also take people opinion. No one would stop you from doing that, okay? But yes, you should have clients' permission. In this phase, you also take clients or companies which is building this product and how much will they earn from it. So business needs are also considered along with the user need. Please take some time to understand how Uber understood user problem and solve them. In our daily life, there are still many problems we are just not aware of those. Even we face them. As a UX designer, when we are going to launch a new product, we have to find the needs of users. So now we have understood our product. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into it. To accurately find user problem and needs, we perform user research, and that is actually second stage of our UX design process. The purpose of research is to know very precisely about the problem, users and product itself. It is to gather as much information as possible about the users, the problem, the competitive landscape so that the design team can make informed decisions. What users need, what are their behaviors, and to validate the assumptions further you made before starting research. Simply put, if you don't know whom you are building the product for, then you don't know why you should be building it. And if you don't know why, then it doesn't really matter how you build it. You are already on the first track to disaster. Hence, research is very necessary to know your users. But how we conduct research? That's a question. Research can be on any stage. It can be before the existing of product, or during its design phase, or after its launch phase. We have many methods for research at each phase. We use each method according to our needs. But the methods that are mostly used are interviews, surveys, secondary research, competitive research, and usability study. Research can go up to months or days depending upon product, resources, and timings. The purpose of research is to know in-depth information about your user needs and their qualitative data. Let me give you an overview of each method that we use. Number 1. Interview. The interview is done for a focus group. It's a group of 3 to 5 people who quickly represents your large audience. This is not 100% accurate but gives you insight quickly and without spending a lot of money. Second, we have surveys. We use some online tools where some questions are asked and users respond to these. Surveys are kept simple and short to get the maximum number of responses. Secondary research is using internet data for your research to have a general idea. Competitive research is to research your competitor. And at last, usability testing. This is done to ensure whether your product is usable. Usually 5 or 6 users will use your product and there will be observers who will observe their behavior. We will do each of the above methods practically and I will explain them more in the upcoming videos. Now this was our research. Third step is analyze. Once you finish your research, it's time to look at it and analyze it. In this step, you will prepare your user personas. A user persona is a one-page representation of your all users. It gives all the insights of your users. These are very important and helps a UX designer a lot. Don't worry, we will do them soon practically. In analyzing step, we will also create user journey maps. If we need a more enhanced overview of our audience, it gives more information on users such as their pain points. Now we have number 4, design. Finally, we design. In this step, you can create sitemaps, user flows, sketches, wireframes, and prototypes. Basically, sitemaps are the information architecture of your product, like how the pages are connected, while user flow is a more in-depth view of your product. It describes to what page it will go if you click this. It's a complete path a user takes. Sketches are a very rough idea of how it looks. After sketches, we do the wireframes. Wireframes are the layout of describing the spaces and position of graphic elements like buttons, images, and text. Remember, the prototype is a final version of a product, how it will look after launch. It's a final mock-up. Remember, design process is iterative. You are iterating to make it better for user. Once you have designed, the 5th step is launch. After testing and refining the prototype, the final step is implementation. This is where the design is handed off to the development team to be built. As a designer, you will work closely with developer during this stage to ensure that the final product matches your design and meets the user needs. And as far as this course is concerned, we will not just design but develop our product also. Okay, our 6th stage is iterate. At this step, you analyze your product again. Does it solve problem of users? how they use my product, what are the areas of improvements. At this stage there should be little tweaks, not complete change of product. That's the reason we are doing iteration at each step before. Iteration before saves the money of company later, because after the launch if there are some more iterations it will require changes in everything. It's common sense. And that's a wrap on the UI UX design process. Remember, this process naming can be different on each website or company or wherever you are practicing UX. Just don't get confused and understand the main concept. In this world of 2023, there are a lot of AI tools that can help you further in UI UX. Also, in my opinion, UX has never been so easy than it is now. Thousands of tools and platforms are there to help. Okay, I think we should wrap up this video now. Thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for more videos on UI UX design course. As in the next video, I will be going to talk about how to build portfolio. I will see you there. Thank you again.